Hello, my name is ALINA PANCIU and welcome to my course Fundamental Concepts in the Architecture of an Electric Vehicle. Welcome to Module 3, entitled Low Emission and Zero Emission Vehicle Drive Systems and the Difference Between Them. So, today all technical personnel will try to understand that it is very important to understand and comprehend and especially master information related to the types and structure of a low emission and zero emission vehicle drive system and to know the difference between them. They must be aware of their common elements and their main differences. For this purpose, the technical staff, the entire technical staff, need to understand on the types of hybrid electric vehicle, fuel cell electric vehicle and their pros and cons. After reading this module, you should be able to understand the concepts of low emission and zero emission vehicles, understand the advantages of these vehicles, identify the components of an internal combustion engine, hybrid electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle and electric vehicle. Identify the components of a fuel cell electric vehicle. Identify the most important similarities and differences between these vehicles. Keywords for today's module: low emission vehicle, HEV, PHEV, FCEV, ICE and EV, zero emission vehicle, differences and similarities, pros and cons. Today you will be able to understand the concepts of low emission, zero emission vehicle, their advantages, the components of all electric cars and the similarities and differences among them. Please understand that you really need to know these notions by heart. Please understand that you will find them in all manufacturers' documentations and other useful courses. Concept of low emission, zero emission vehicles. So, zero and low emission vehicle means a passenger car or a light commercial vehicle with tailpipe emissions from 0 up to 50 grams of CO2 per kilometer as determined in accordance with Regulation EU from 2017. So, we can see that a low emission vehicle is a vehicle that has from 1 to 50 grams of CO2 per kilometers. In this picture, we can see that a conventional vehicle has probably more than 50 grams of CO2 per kilometer. A hybrid car has few. A plug-in hybrid car and an electrical car can be considered zero and low emission vehicle. A zero emission vehicle is a car which doesn't have any emission on the tailpipe. So there are only two vehicles that can be considered as zero emission vehicles, and it's the full electric vehicle or battery electric vehicle and the fuel cell electric vehicle. The electric vehicle has zero emissions, and the fuel cell electric vehicle only has water as a residual tailpipe emission. However, their life cycle shows that they are not entirely zero and low emission vehicle. And why are we saying that? Is because for their manufacture it is considered that they pollute. The advantages of low emission and zero emission vehicles. It is very important for all personnel, but especially the sales personnel, to understand and present to customers or different people the advantages of low emissions. Of course, there will always be disadvantages. I mentioned them too. But please be advised that it is very important for you to know them and to let the customers know that it is better for the environment and for their budget on a long term, of course, to have an electric car. The advantages of low emission and zero emission vehicle can be very difficult to understand if they are not explained correctly. So please, every time somebody asks you, please try to remember the advantages mentioned in these pictures. Of course, there will always be the discussion between their life cycle pollution, because from the concept and the design of an electric car to its end of life cycle, of course an electric car will pollute maybe sometimes more than an internal combustion engine vehicle, but these are facts to be yet determined. The components of the electric vehicles. Please understand that all vehicles are compared to the components of an internal combustion engine vehicle. So first of all, we have to know very well the components of an internal combustion engine vehicle. In this sketch you will see the most important components of a gasoline vehicle. Please understand that it is important to know the components, but their functions as well. So please read the functions of these components. Hybrid electric vehicle. In this module it is important to see the entire electric car types and the differences between them. I will show you with the help of these pictures taken from the US Energy Department. It's the same car, but the drivetrain system is different in order for you to see and understand the differences very well. Every picture is accompanied by the key components and their functions in order for you to better understand what every component does. So first we had the internal combustion vehicles, then a hybrid electric vehicle. Now we can see the elements of a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. We can see the components of a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. The key components of a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle are many, as you can see, because the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is practically two cars in one. They have all the elements of a battery electric vehicle and all the elements of an internal combustion engine vehicle. So it is a little more complex, but in my opinion, of course, it is the most common and useful type of car battery. I had one, and it was very good to know that even if you don't have enough electricity in the battery pack, you can always turn to the internal combustion engine and arrive home or at your destination safely. So it has, in my opinion, the most important advantages. And in the end, the all-electric vehicle with its components, please take a look at them. They are all important. And the components of a fuel cell electric vehicle. We can see here a hydrogen fuel cell, and the way it works. So hydrogen goes in, oxygen goes in, it has a chemical reaction which is called an electrolysis, and water goes out, and electrons go into the batteries, and so we have fuel for the hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle. We have enough electricity to run this vehicle. Similarities and differences among electrical vehicle types. I structured the key components of all the electric cars presented in this module, and we can see that they all have similarities and they all have differences. Every component has a color, and if we find the same component in the other vehicles, we will see it with the same color. White is for the ones that do not have a match or a similar component in another vehicle type. So we can see that all the vehicles have battery auxiliary. Yes, we can also see that all electric vehicles have DC-DC converters. For example, we can see that all except the battery electric vehicle have fuel fillers. Okay, and we can see that a few of them have transmission, and the battery electric vehicle and fuel cell electric vehicle have electric transmissions. And I am sure you will find the similarities and differences between them useful, and please try to know this table by heart. Good job, you completed module 3. After reading this module, you can understand the similarities in the differences between the types of electric vehicles. You can also tell which is a low emission car and which is a zero emission car. You can identify their main components and be aware of their advantages and disadvantages. And a small assessment for you. Please try to take this little test and see how many things you remember after reading the module. Of course, we have the answering key right away. Thank you for watching this presentation. I really hope it was helpful. See you next time. Bye bye.